Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hanging Out with Howie. Tonight on the panel, we are going to discuss what your policy is on taking pictures and posting videos of events that you do. But first, let me introduce our panel. To my right, I have Bill Marsh from Carlisle Entertainment and soothsayer of all things legal music and contracts, so forth like that. So we're going to pick his brain. And from Cyprus, we have Alex the Bubble. Welcome, Alex. And my cohort in comedy, Jay Brannon from Temecula, California.
How are you, folks? I'm excited to be here, and it's new to me, but I thought I'd interrupt things.
Excellent. And of course, our very own new best friend that we met out in Vegas, John Crawley from Boston. Hello, John. Welcome.
Yeah. Hi, good evening, everybody. Hi, Howie.
Okay, so as usual, I'm perusing the interwebs, and the keyboard warriors are really at it about whether or not they ask permission or just take pictures, videos, put them up there. Some people have been asked not to. And one person, and this will be my very first question, he says, I have it in my contract. So, Bill, would you put that in your contract, or do you have it in your contract?
No and no. And it might, depending on the contract laws in your state. Based on my Holiday and Express attorney certification, it might not even be legal to put it in your contract. But suffice it to say, I'm not going to put anything in my contract that's going to encourage my client to decide not to book me.
Excellent. That was my thoughts. How about you, Alex?
I think having it in your contract isn't a necessity. I mean, at the end of the day, if a photo is taken, then the person that's taken that photo owns the photo. Now, depending on the content of that photo, if it's, it could be anything, from a wedding to a military surrounding. And obviously, if you've taken that photo and you shouldn't have taken that photo, then, obviously that's evidence for you, to be prosecuted maybe, but when it comes to a wedding or a gig, I've done plenty of venues where it's no photography is allowed. Nightclubs, certain nightclubs don't allow any photography given the content of the nightclub and the people that may turn up there. But if it's a wedding, just speak to the client. It's not that drastic that you should have to take photos. So if they say no photos, then so be it. It's not the be all and end all if you can't take photos. So it's just a case of communication.
All right. How about you, Jay?
Well, it's kind of a twofold answer. One is I do a lot of events that are public, and a lot of the contracts that I sign for those events state, or they'll have signs as you walk in, a sign that will say you will be filmed. All rights of ownership are given up upon entry and agreement, something legal to that extent. You're in a public venue, whether it's a private event or not. My rule has always been don't film children. But other than that, it's part of my business. And I've been on YouTube since 2009. And I've not once, including famous NFL football players, not once has anyone said to me, you need to take that down. I didn't agree to that. So I think it's an expectation that's gone because you're in public. So as a guest at a wedding, even if you're not the one getting married, you're in public at that point. And the laws in my state of California are, if you're at the mall and I want to run up to you with my iPhone and film you, I have every right to do so until it's harassment.
Gotcha. How about you, John?
I don't have it written in the contract for a private party. It'll come up in discussion. Usually At the conclusion of the event, a few days later, when I'm sending them the pictures that I've taken, and I've seen some of the pictures that maybe some of the guests have taken, and I can ask at that point, hey, this is a great still shot from your party. Would you mind if I put this up on the website? And I ask them then and there, and usually I don't have any issues with that for private parties.
Yeah, that sounds that was pretty much my take on it. Although they argued pretty fiercely about this, and I'm just like, I can't see putting something in a contract that, like Bill mentioned, that might cost you the job. My contract is one page. That's it. And then it's just could be a verbal agreement. Hey, do you mind if I take pictures? Can I use this? And most times they're happy to do it. Some people will say no. And then, of course, the other thing is if it's a wedding, usually the officiant, or I've done it myself, where I'll ask the people before it starts that, hey, the couple has asked that you not do any filming or posting to social media until they get a chance to do it. And so I'm pretty much like, yeah, in agreement with you guys. Like, I don't think it's necessary for a contract.
Do you guys have hashtags at your weddings? I did a wedding last night. The groom is 63, bride's like 48, 49. So, and I only bring that up because it was two different realms. He looked at me and he said, yeah, there's a hashtag. I don't even know what that is. I'm like, it's the pound sign. He goes, oh, the pound sign. Sure, I know what that is. I said, it's a tag process. So if you put a photo up, you would then put pound sign Forever Bam 2021, and then you can search that pound sign, and you'll see everything people put. I actively made probably 5 announcements about, folks, anything you post to social media tonight, please tag it with this. So I guess my point is, outside of the lawyers, the clients have set up a hashtag for the purpose of public posting of photos and video from the event.
Yep.
How is it as the DJ, I'm not part of the group that can post to public, outlets of the event?
I've had clients in the past. Now, this is, of course, we're talking about the gram right here with the hashtags. But I've had clients that, now this is going back 4 or 5 years ago, where they would create a Facebook page for their wedding and ask people to post there. But now we've got the gram and the hashtag, so it's much easier. So anyway, now I was really hoping Brian would be here for this one. I'm going to paraphrase so I don't offend anybody in case they watch it. And this person said, to all of you people who make gig logs, I have a few questions. Why? Who are you making them for? Do you expect a ROI, return on investment, for the civilians that may be watching? Do customers care? Do you shoot the whole thing and cut it down, or do you shoot short clips and put it together? And again, why? They seem like a lot of work for very little return. And then at the end, he says, thank you in advance. So first he insults, and then he says, thank you in advance. So have at it, boys. Okay, Bill, what do you got for him?
Don't really do gig logs. I don't do video very much at all, and my internet resources are a big part of that. And I know I can just upload it with my phone and everything, but I'm the kind of person I'd want to get home and tweak it and fix it and whatever. But I actually think it depends on the person that's posting it. I've seen people post gig logs that are just like, woohoo, look at me. And other people who have posted gig logs that are immensely informative. And, some of them even come from that person's minivan as they're, sitting in a parking lot after they finish their gig. And other people, might wait until they're home and they're doing it in front of their cool stacks of records. But there are definitely some out there that I would agree with the poster. Why did they bother? But for the people that do a really good job at it, I understand why they bother, because it's informative, it's helpful, and I appreciate that. And I'll go ahead and drop the name on the guy who was pointing to himself. When Jay posted one last year, and then caught a little grief for it, I actually thought that in a way he was doing a service by showing that off, because it was showing us that we can live normally still, and that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And he was sitting there staring at it, and to me that was enough. I didn't need to know any more than that. All
right, you pointed the finger at him. Look, Jay, try to keep it for an hour.
When I'm done, you can just say thanks everyone for watching.
Thanks everybody for watching.
I'll answer everything as quickly as I can. The video that Bill's pointing out was something that I got an immense amount of flack for, and I put up a 20-second clip of about 30 people dancing in a wedding last June, and the wedding party was 12 and 12. So there's 26 people on the dance floor that are just in the wedding party and the bride and groom, and then a few scragglers. And I got a lot of flack because people, at first I thought, they're right, I am spreading the disease. And then I realized, no, they're wrong. They're not working and I am, and they're pissed and whatever and upset. But the original question about why put up gig logs, I haven't done one since I went to my iPhone from my flip cam. With my flip cam, I filmed almost every event I did, because I thought it would be a great way to let a client know this is what you could expect maybe at your event. And they were always mixes. They were always people dancing, or they were site inspections or walkthroughs. And I can count, I think about 14 weddings that I know for a fact said, we saw your video on YouTube, we want to meet you, we want to talk to you, and they hired me. So I have to look at the return on investment being somewhere in about $18,000 to $19,000 for me filming somebody else's wedding where I mixed Cake by the Ocean into Journey, Don't Stop Believing. And that resonated with the new client. I think, to be fair, I think all DJs should film some or parts of their events to show a client why they are not a cheesy DJ, a crappy DJ. They can't mix. I think it's almost a negative answer, Bill. I think it's almost a, look, this is what I do, and as you can see, this is the highlights, but I'm showing you the mixes. I'm showing you that this is what you can expect. Versus some of the younger DJs out there doing big production videos that are like, look at me with my CO2 cannon and look, confetti and boom and all that crap. To me, that's not selling a client, that's selling a DJ. I'm trying to sell a client on the ideology of, here's a good time, here's an example, does this resonate with you? So that's in my perspective. I think it should be, your brand looks good because you're there to help or provide something that they want. If they don't want what they see, they'll go to the next DJ.
How about you, John?
For gig logs, yeah. I mean, they were, for us, self-serving to a degree. I always try to shoot a little bit of the dance floor full and, showing, here's what my lights look like in operation. Here's the space I occupy. I don't post them to a source, but I will let other potential clients see them, just to be informative. If I am speaking through it, I'm like, here's what your dance floor could look like. Here's the arrangement of the booth. It's not. I don't do it. If you say I or me too many times in the sentence, then all you're really doing is just promoting yourself. Here's me at the wedding. Look at what I'm doing. I. Whereas it's like, these are my clients enjoying the day, and I want you to have a similar experience. I want to take the me out of it and make it fit you. So if I do them that way, otherwise I usually just take a few still shots.
Excellent. Excellent. Alex, I'm sorry you're last, but do you have something for us?
Yeah, I think when you do a gig log, it's good to promote the venue that you're at as well as yourself. When I do gig logs, I do scenery shots. It's a bit like the videographer. I'm doing scenery shots. I'm doing shots of the buffet, for example, if it is there, or sit down meal kind of thing, as well as showing the client, videos of the first dance. I wouldn't show them a picture of my lighting, but I show them a picture of the first dance with the lighting. So that's how because they don't care what lights you got, they want to know what it's going to look like. And also the other good thing is when you do that and somebody goes to your website, your Facebook page and things like that, they get excited to go, oh, look, that DJ's been at our wedding venue. Oh, that's what our wedding venue is going to look like. Because they may not have seen the venue. They may have only seen pictures of it. They may not have even discussed. They could be thinking about this venue and 3 others. So you're advertising the venue. And of course, if they see you've worked at that venue that they're thinking of booking, they go, you know what? We'll get Jay, we'll get Howie, we'll get Alex, John or Bill, for example, because we know they've already been there. So they already know the venue. We haven't got to worry about, whether they can get in there or whether they have any, this problems or anything like that. They've been there. They've done that. It's one less barrier for you to try and break down between you and the client.
Thank you. I do a combination, and I've only done a few gig logs. And for me, it has to be of an educational sort. That's just for me. I do take videos like John mentioned and a few of the others here that I'll keep privately to show other couples. But the helpful ones were like, okay, hey, I'm at we're at this pavilion here and it's raining and the outlets don't work and the breaker panel, it's locked. And so that was helpful because I said, hey, just went to my truck, got the battery powered speakers, and the client was crying until they heard the music. And then they were like, how did you do that? And I said, I brought battery powers. I promised you a good evening. And that was the video. And I've done a few, similar type things. And I wish Brian was here for this because I always get something out of his videos and Jay's as well, because it's not like, look at me. It's more like Alex mentioned, here's a beautiful venue. Here's what's going on here. Here's something helpful, or here's what I did to overcome a problem. Okay, they stuck me in the corner. So, I put my speakers over here by the dance. Right? That kind of a thing. That would
And I agree with everything everyone has said. And I just want to point out what you said, which is a little funny, because in one sentence, you're like, I don't want to make this about me, but then you're making it about your client completely by saying, hey, there was a problem and I happen to have battery powered speakers. So to me, that's a great video because you didn't make it about you. You made it about what you bring as a benefit to the client. And I think with very few exceptions, lately, again, because I switched from a camera with a program to an iPhone, when I had the flip, every video I tried to do at a venue was, hey, I'm here at Howie's wedding venue and we've got 200 people today. This is what it looks like. That's your food over there. Then I went into the dancing because I agree with Alex. I wanted to catch both searches. I wanted to catch mobile DJ, Temecula DJ, wedding DJ, but I also wanted to catch, I've hired this venue and I live on the other side of the country, but here's a video of it. Where I live is a complex and we have a lake house. I did a wedding there. I've got like 10,000 views of my video, more than anyone else, and I get calls all the time. The problem is I'm twice as expensive as what they've allotted, so I haven't worked there in like 10 years. but my video still comes up #1 when you search Harveston Wedding. My video is the first thing that comes up. So I think there's a great way to get out of the self-serving mode and into the helpful mode if you have a simple setup, which is, hey everybody, DJJ here with Brandon Entertainment. I'm here today at ABC Village, and check it out. I've got 200 people. This is a great couple. Here's where the ceremony's taking place. This is my setup. I try to keep it over to the right so nobody sees me. I've got a wireless mic up here, and you do about 2 minutes of the prelim, and then you cut. Then you go to maybe an introduction, maybe you go to the first dance if it's cool, and then you show, I think most of my videos are under 10 minutes. Just show a few mixes, because I think it's important as DJs that we show we actually are DJs. I worked Saturday night and there was another DJ there, and he made a comment about, people ask me if you're a good DJ, and I always tell them, yeah, I've heard he's really good, but I've never seen him. And I agree with that. If I haven't seen you spin, I have a difficult time really qualifying, are you any good? I mean, everyone in this room are great DJs because I've seen all of you spin on Twitch. I haven't seen any of you in person, but I've seen what you can actually do in live time. So I feel qualified to say, this is a great DJ. I've seen what he can do. But I'm not a fan of, because I met you somewhere or you're a DJ, I'm supposed to praise your skills. And I think that's where YouTube becomes the great divide. Your friend and mine, Howie, Brian S. Red, I went to him in Mobile Beat at 2012 and said, I want to really tap into YouTube. I have 5 videos up. He goes, make a decision. Are you there to help or promote or what? I said, well, I'd like to help. And I think I've tried to maintain that over almost 600 videos. And I think most DJs are there to help. Yes, there are DJs that have it calculated. They know what they're doing. They want to make money. And that's fine. I can't bemoan you. But I think at the end of the day, if you had a great wedding and there's footage of it, and some of that was due to your skill and talent, I don't think that's a bad thing to show the world, because it will help someone make a decision down the road when they want to hire a DJ, even if they're not in your market. What if they're in my market and they go, hey, Jay, here's a video from this guy, Howie Darkstar. He's in Penn. Here's what he did. Is this what you do? As a matter of fact, it is. And I know Howie. He's an amazing DJ. And if there's music he played that I don't have, I'm the first one that will call him. Oh, you know him? Yeah. Oh my God, that's perfect. Yeah, we'd like to hire you because we're getting married in Southern California. Like, let's all work together, guys. I think videos only show that cooperation amongst the ranks. Let's not be individual. Let's not make it about editing. Let's make it about nuts and bolts. Here's the gig. The best videos of documentary style that I ever saw in bands were almost black and white from the side of the stage. And guess what? That was the magic they captured. Try to capture the magic and let someone else understand that that's the magic that you bring for their day.
Now, we did have on there about the return on investment. And I can say, at least for the folks in this room, I think our hearts are first in to help others. That's what my videos are. And Jay, you did a series of videos, DJ tips in under a minute. I don't know how you did that, but that's another story.
but really, just.
But we'll just go around.
This is what it's all about.
There you go. So would you folks agree that at least in this particular group that the first thing is to, be helpful to others, and that's the return you're getting on your on your time?
Yeah. And that's what I was trying to kind of point out when I was saying that, the ones that I find positive are the ones where, they're either, as Jay said, they're either there to show the client or to show the rest of us something that is helpful to make us all better, either to make the client's event better or for us to help make other people's clients, other clients' events better. And, another quick example, speaking of Brian Ritt, also from last year, when he posted a quick little video showing how he had set up lights in that room that had kind of the dance floor that was surrounded by a little railing, and he used the ape lights on the railing. I mean, brilliant solution to a problem that, if somebody didn't know the room, now that person can say, oh, and here's a great idea for, how to light up that room.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I want to thank you guys for always being helpful and for being here with me. And we're going to sign off, and we will see you next week. Thank you all. Good night.